Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Teen found dead with head partially severed in St. Catherine. 15-year-old Kevin Mackenzie was found dead yesterday morning with a gunshot wound and his head partially severed from his body. The incident happened about 7:30 in his community of Jones Avenue in Central Village, St. Catherine. It is reported that Mackenzie left home to dispose of garbage when he was attacked. Residents reported the hearing an explosion and went to investigate. They then stumbled upon the teen's body. Residents described the Spanish Town High School student as humble, caring, and well-behaved. Messages circulating about multiple dead bodies at Mandeville Hospital false. The Mandeville Regional Hospital, in a statement on Monday, has advised the public that messages circulating on messaging and social media platforms about multiple dead bodies at the hospital are false. The message states that patients have to be stepping over dead bodies on the floor and that bodies are being relocated to a nearby church, the statement said. The management team of the hospital is urging citizens to be responsible and truthful when circulating messages so as not to cause fear or panic among citizens, it further advised. The statement from the hospital continued to read that while its staff members are pressured in managing the surge in COVID-19 cases, it is urging Jamaicans to be responsible in adhering to the protocols of mask wearing, hand sanitizing, social distancing, and also to get vaccinated. Businesses given more time to file July GCT returns. The deadline for businesses to pay over July consumption taxes to the government has been extended to September. The Tax Administration Jamaica (TAJ) says the August 31st due date was adjusted out of consideration to taxpayers who may have been impacted by the recent adjusted national COVID-19 containment measures. Businesses now have until September 3rd to file and pay their General Consumption Tax (GCT), Special Consumption Tax (SCT), Telephone Call Tax (TCT), and Guest Accommodation Room Tax (GART) returns without any penalties being applied. Returns filed and paid after the extended due date will be considered late and the necessary penalties and interest charges will be applied. Police urge people to exercise caution when pursuing certain job offers. Jamaica Constabulary Force Sub-Officer in charge of the Anti-Tip Vice Squad Detective Inspector Kimisha Garden is appealing to citizens to exercise diligence when pursuing certain advertised job offers. He stated that the unit is aware of people being victims of human trafficking locally as a result of WL's job opportunities taken up. We want to implore persons to follow our ABCs, accept nothing, believe nothing, and check everything. And if you are still uncertain, double check. A lot of what is advertised within these job offerings is questionable, and if you look a little deeper, you will see that there is something wrong with these offers, so be diligent and verify, she cautioned. Inspector Gordon shared the profile of advertised job that has been proven to be most problematic. The ones that are of concern primarily are those that offer masseuse job opportunities at a location that is not disclosed or instruct person to call a number and then meet at a suspicious location. The wording is usually looking for persons who are attractive and open-minded. Those are the ones primarily that are worrisome, she informed. Inspector Gardner urged Jamaicans to be cautious and aware about their security when pursuing these advertised opportunities. If you are looking for a job, scrutinize every requirement in the job offer that you see. Those that require you to be open-minded and attractive are the types of requirements that jump out to the unit, she added. Inspector Garden said the unit has embarked on several initiatives, including discussions with critical stakeholders to combat human trafficking for a questionable job offering. We are hoping that we can get buy-in from the media, specifically print media, for screening of the advertisements that are placed within their newspapers, as that is an important place to start. There are other activities that the police have embarked on, and we are hoping to see some results soon, she indicated. People who suspect incidents of human trafficking and are victims may call the police within their area to make a report. They can also send an email to tip.ocid@jcf.gov.jm, call the Ministry of National Security at 876 906-4908 or speak to child counselors at the Child Protection and Family Services Agency. Probe on after off-duty cop fatally shoots man in St. Catherine. The Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom responded to and began investigations into the fatal shooting of an unidentified man in the vicinity of Bogworth Gorge and Sligoville Main Road in St. Catherine on Saturday, August 28, 2021 by an off-duty police officer. The police had reported that an off-duty officer became engaged in the pursuit of a Toyota Probox with 3 male occupants who had allegedly stolen cable wires. During the chase, the Toyota Probox collided with a vehicle traveling in the opposite direction. Indicom investigators were further informed that 2 of the occupants of the Probox ran from the incident scene and at least one of the men is reported to have fired at the police officer. It is alleged that the third approached and attacked the officer with a knife, causing him an injury. The officer reportedly fired at the man with the knife. This unidentified man was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. 2 persons from the other vehicles involved in the collision were treated for their injuries. The incident scene was processed by Indicom and the weapon of the officer, as well as a recovered knife, were boxed and sealed for testing. The hands of the deceased were swabbed for gunshot residue. No firearm was reported as recovered from the scene. An initial account of the incident was provided to Indicom investigators by the off-duty officer. The officer was issued a Section 21 notice to furnish a statement and attend Indicom to be interviewed in relation to this incident. All initial accounts received by the Commission are recognized as preliminary information and will undergo the requisite investigative and forensic examination. Indicom said the assistance of the public is also important and persons are therefore reminded to contact the Commission and share any information that will be useful in ongoing investigations. Agriculture Ministry seeking out relief assistance for farmers. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries is engaged in discussion with various stakeholders about the possibility of providing relief to farmers in the wake of the rising fertilizer and other input costs. Portfolio Minister Floyd Green said the relief is important in ensuring that farmers maintain production levels and increase crop yields. Green said discussions have been taking place with representatives of local blender and supplier of fertilizer Newport Ferguson. Coming out of the meeting, we have agreed that the Newport Ferguson team will look at new formulations of fertilizer that utilize cheaper inputs but still give our farmers the requisite nutrition that the plants need. They will come back to us with that. We are also looking at whether there needs to be direct intervention from the ministry in relation to the cost of fertilizer, he told a virtual press conference last Wednesday. Green informed that an update will be provided to the nation shortly. I have also asked the ministry's team to meet with our various livestock associations in relation to feed cost and to see how we can do some direct intervention to at least soften the burden of these increased in cost, he added. He noted that while the costs are being driven by worldwide occurrences, I want our farmers and fishers to know that we are going to be working with the input provider to see how we can ease that burden. Local hospitals welcome oxygen supplies.
I think we're in a good position where we have the large storage, the ISO, and then we have the backup.
The current oxygen situation at KPH?
We are at a comfortable state now, and for the past week or so, we have not found ourselves in a position where I say we'll be in a critical situation. I think geography has played a magnificent role in all of this, in that we are close to the source, and once dispatched within half an hour or less, we would get that supply. And the second thing is that we have a good working relationship with IGL, and we are in constant dialogue, even in the good times. So, and I think there is this awareness of the importance of KPH and the role that we play. So I think we are also prioritized by IGL.
On average, how much oxygen does one COVID patient need per day?
It depends. there are a lot of factors. It depends on the level of need for oxygen. So, of course, the blood saturation level. So there's a high flow, which is about 60 I think per minute, which is a whole lot. So if a patient is on high flow, it doesn't take long for a large cylinder to be out. So one can understand it's pretty much turning on, say, 3 of your burners at home, your gas burners, light them and leave them there. It is more than that, where there's a constant flow. So there's a lot of waste also, because one can appreciate that the patient will not absorb all of that oxygen. Right? And for patients who are less dependent, we use the wall supply, and the pressure varies depending on which ward you're on and where you are from the source. For example, VJH, once our backup units or our storage areas are at 400 water column, the alarms go off on equipment, which shows that the pressure is declining and it is at a stage where persons where the clinical and medical team needs to pay strict attention. So when the alarms go off at KPH, VJH will be already at a level where we need to switch the supply. So I think we're in a good position where we have the large storage, the ISO, and then we have the backup. So we normally can gauge ourselves where we are, and we normally get on the phone with IGL, and we don't get off the phone until we get some kind of commitment in terms of when. As it relates to currently now, we got a large supply this morning. I think it was about 3,000 water columns. So our present storage capacity for the main storage, the ISO tank, is at 3,600, and the portable, that's a trailer, is at 700. We also received 18 cylinders yesterday, 10 for KPH, 8 for VJH. But it is to be understood that although they are two separate institutions, we operate as one. It doesn't matter. The supply is a supply for these institutions. So we are comfortable for now, but we will not allow ourselves to be at ease simply because we have our stock up. We will continue to be in dialogue with IGL to ensure that whatever our needs are, they will be in a position to fulfill those needs. This is a 539-bed hospital, KPH that is. And of those, 132 are COVID patients. I remember last week we had 15 patients on high flow, 15 COVID patients. So the rest were not that bad. And you could estimate that maybe 50% of the rest of them would be on some kind of oxygen support. And as it relates to the general population, the medicine and surgical patients and so on, of course, ICU, those patients in ICU more than likely will be dependent on oxygen also. The step-down ward at St. Joseph, that's for patients who are not very bad and not in need of critical care, and who for the most part can assist themselves in bathing and feeding. So it's a step down stage at which you do not require that much attention, and we expect from Joseph you go home. Although we do discharge from here too. We have our staff who are working odd hours to ensure that we keep our patients at least alive. We have to cater to emergency cases at any given time, any time of the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We have emergency cases sent up from the A&E for surgery, and those are absolute priority. And because of that, we have curtailed the regular surgeries that we normally do, and those lines are always long anyway. So now it's even worse, and it is really terrible. So how do we get out of this? Or when will we reach a stage where we will be comfortable? I'm not sure. This depends a lot on the number of COVID cases.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.